Hey guys, welcome back to my new video. This video will explain the lives of the Wright brothers and how they had innovated to create the first powered flight. Stay tuned. Wilbur and Orville Wright had been interested in the problems associated with mechanical and human flight since childhood. They eagerly followed the fortunes of pioneers and in 1899 began to study the subject in depth. They requested all of the information then available on the subject from a US institution already deeply involved with aviation experiments and identified the areas that needed further investigation. They initially focused on control, surmising that sustained flight would be achieved if adjustments could be continually made to the balance of a craft in order to keep it stable. To achieve this, Wilbur and Orville developed the idea of wing warping, twisting the flying surface to alter the flow of air and thus change the direction of the machine. By September 1900, the Wrights had perfected the first of their experimental gliders and chosen Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as a suitable location for trials. The glider was a success, and the all-important wing warping control system worked well, but it did not generate as much lift as they had hoped. Further trials on a new glider with redeveloped wings based on the work of earlier aviators were even more disappointing. The brothers began to suspect that the calculations of earlier pioneers were crucially defective. Wilbur and Orville commenced their own experiments, which ultimately completely reworked those calculations. By mounting miniature experimental wing shapes on the front of a bicycle, and then by using a specially built wind tunnel, the Wrights produced extremely accurate measurements that they then applied to their wing designs. In 1902, they tested a glider built using the data they had produced. When they added movable vertical fins to the design linked to the wing warping system, they soon began to glide for distances of up to 200 meters or 656 feet. Control had been mastered. The brothers then turned their attention to power. They needed a light yet powerful engine, and none of the existing models were good enough. The Wrights decided to produce their own, asking their assistant Charlie Taylor to help. The resulting motor was a triumph of efficient design, weighing 81.65 kilograms and delivering 12 horsepower. Designing an efficient propeller proved more complicated. Working out the mathematical and physical principles involved taxed the brothers' skill enormously, but it also demonstrated the strength and value of their partnership. Eventually, the Wrights overcame the propeller issue and they returned to Kitty Hawk in September 1903, with all of their components seemingly in place. Their attention was now firmly fixed on achieving sustained flight. Events elsewhere added impetus to their work, as a fellow aviation experimenter, Samuel P. Langley, was preparing to launch his aerodrome for the first time. On 17 December 1903, after several weeks of frustrating setbacks, the Wrights launched their flyer 4 times, with the men of Kill Devil Hills life-saving station acting as witnesses. With Orville at the controls, the machine initially spent 12 seconds in the air and covered a distance of 36.6 meters. 2 further attempts produced flights of greater distance. Then at noon, Wilbur began the 4th trip. This time the flyer flew for an astonishing 59 seconds, a distance of 259.7 meters. These two very special men from Ohio had achieved what many thought was impossible. Others would soon follow in their footsteps, but the honor of being first was theirs. If you liked my video, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.